Hey folks, BC here. You're watching BC's Deucing Guns, and today what I'm going to do is talk about the Aquila Super Colbri 22 long rifle. I've shot these in the past a little bit in the videos, and as you can tell, they're fairly accurate and they're very quiet out of a rifle. So let's take a look at these. I'm especially interested in what kind of power you can get out of them at each particular distance I'm going to be shooting today. Let's take a look. The purpose of today's shoot is to figure out the maximum distance that these Super Colbri can be considered a small game hunting cartridge. Now it's fairly well established that a small game hunting cartridge for, rabbits and squirrels, things like that, should be at least between 5 and 6 pound-feet of energy for a good clean kill. These actually start out with, at the muzzle, with 11 pound-feet of energy, actually 11.1 something I think. But anyway, that's determined by the 20 grain bullet and the 500 feet per second at the muzzle. So we're going to find out how far it still has that kind of energy. And I'll show you what I've got set up here for the range. Here's my 10-yard target, and I've got targets every 10 yards all the way out to 50 yards. And I've calibrated each and every target to fall at the magical 6 pound-feet of energy, but to remain on the stand when it's hit by something that only has 5 pound-feet of energy. And how I calibrated that was I took my Crosman backpacker, I weighed the pellet, and I shot it over my chronograph, counting my pumps. And I found out that I have 6 pound-feet of energy when I pump it 9 times, and I drop below 6 pound-feet when I only pump it 8 times. And I basically went through and calibrated every single one. As you can see, I had to put the base over on the side here because I was way too strong, way too sturdy and stable for it to be knocked over by 6 pound-feet of energy. Even 15 pound-feet of energy wasn't doing it. So I've got them all calibrated, ready to fall at 6 pound-feet. And just as an added little tip, how I decide, or how I measure out 10 yards real quick, I don't bring a ruler or a measuring tape. I've got this, basically just a piece of, I think it's clothesline, and I measured out 10 yards on it. Basically, I'm always going to be in either increments of 5 or 10. So halfway, I've got a 5-yard flag, and the other end, I've got 10 yards. Now I just wrap it around each one and pull it until it flaps around the pole, and then I've got another 10 yards. Put another target there. Little tip of the day. Now we've moved back to the actual shooting area. Go ahead and load up. I'm going to be using my Henry lever action again because it's just such a nice shooting rifle and it shoots these really well. And these won't actuate a semi-automatic anyway. And I know for some of you more sciencey people out there have already probably started typing about how if I hit the top of the target, it'll require less energy to topple the target over versus if I shoot the bottom of the target. I understand that. This is not 100% scientific, but it's going to be close enough. I calibrated by shooting right in the center. So it may take 5 pounds of energy if I hit at the very top, and it may take 7 pounds of energy when I hit at the very bottom. If it doesn't fall over, I'll shoot it again, I guess. Go ahead and get this thing loaded up here. And of course, one of the cool things about Super Colbri is that you do not have to wear ear protection. But it is warned on the box to make sure that it actually warns not to shoot these in rifles at all, because the bullet could actually get stuck in the barrel. It's actually that low power. But as long as you actually see it hit something, then you're going to be okay. Also, it does dirty up your barrel quite a bit. Okay, that's all I got here. And if you don't see it actually hit something out there, take the gun apart, take a look down the barrel because it may be stuck there. You don't want to shoot into an obstructed barrel. Alright, let's get shooting. Alrighty, first target 10 yards. I'll be zooming in on the targets after this one. That's pretty definitive. We zoom in on the next one now. There we go. 20 yards. Also definitive. Oops. It's about as good as I'm going to get there. 30 yards. Gonna probably put it about 12 o'clock on that one. Oh, nice. 40 yards. Also 12 o'clock. And I missed that one. Nice. Alrighty, well, we got one more out there at the 50-yard line. I may have to actually increase this out some point. Well, there we go. Well, there we have it. We have 6 pound-feet of energy at least all the way out to 50 yards. I'm going to have to go to another range. Alrighty, now I've made it to the 100-yard range. As you see, I have still targets that are calibrated to 6 pound-feet of energy, and they're going to be at the 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100-yard range. I've also turned in my Henry lever action for a Savage Mark II, just because the scope of the Henry lever action would be perfect for this. Actually would do just as well as this Savage, but my eyes won't. I need a scope for this, and I'm not going to put a scope on a lever action rifle. It just didn't feel right. Alright, well, let me just go ahead and get suited up here, and we will go ahead and start shooting. Now let me just go ahead and zoom in here. That's at 50, 60, actually no, it's 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100 yards. Let the camera adjust there and focus in. I already did a test shot, and looks like I'm going to be sending these in almost as artillery strikes by how high I have to aim for these. Alrighty, 60 yards. There we go. Okay, 60 yards, one hit. Went right over. Ooh, 70 yards. That might be about it. I'm gonna hit it again. Well, that's pretty definitive right there. 2 hits on the 70-yard range, and it did not go down. Now, I did hit at the very bottom, but still, I should have done it, I would think. So it looks like Super Colbri, probably a good clean 6 pound-feet of energy at 70 yards, but maybe perhaps not at 80. So, of course, you probably can get a good shot with, you know, the correct shot placement. But anything past 70 yards, you're going to be below that 6 pound-feet of energy, and you got to be careful. Make sure you're hitting a really good solid headshot for a humane kill. If you have any questions about this, or any comments or suggestions, please post below, because remember, I do put up a video every Wednesday. See you guys.